everybody, this is Babbles back again, and we found a game called Repurpose. This is the demo. Hopefully this won't mess up. I know nothing about this game, but I do know that it's LGBT plus friendly, which I thought was super cool. There's a lot of representation, so... And I was really excited about that. What's your character's name? Babbles? Oh, which pronouns do you prefer? My pronouns is she, her. Now, did she always identify as female, or did she figure this out later in her life? I'm a cis. Yeah, always. Discovered later trans. See what I mean? Like, it's really, really cool. So, here we go. I found myself surrounded by a crowd of people. People were clamoring around a stage, talking loudly amongst one another. It seemed like they were just as confused as I was. I tuned out their voices for a moment, and I rubbed my temples to collect my thoughts. What was I doing before arriving? How did I even get here? Did I even get here? ... I can't recall at all. Before I could ruminate on the revelation, two figures took the stage that made the whole audience shut up. To the left was an elegantly robed man. He had white hair like foam that caked a beach shore, and odd, dark, discolored patterns around his left eye. But above all else, he had a large set of wings protruding from his back. His smile was humble, warm, and noticeably nervous as he took to the podium. He scanned over the crowd as he waved shyly to us. And to the right, another man took the empty podium across the angel. His hair was a deep, fiery red and hung just past his shoulders. Everything about his energy exuding confidence, from the way he leaned against the stand to the way his amused expression spread across his face. Late on the first day of work. Not very kind of you to keep us all waiting, and if we technically have an eternity. Your predecessor was punctual, at least. Shut up, demon. Demon? I hadn't noticed it before, but the redhead, he had cat-like eyes and horns sprouting from each side of his head. The demon's long black tail swished as if amused before pointing to the other's microphone stand. Oh, this thing on? The angel seemed embarrassed. Anyway, aloha, everyone. Hey! And welcome to the garden. I know you all must be confused as to why you are here, but let me explain where you all are at, yeah? You mean we, right? This here, where we stand, is the Garden of Eden. Even though its tree bear fruit no more, it remains the more lovely part of this place. You're rude, like your predecessor, too. What is this place, you're thinking, yes? Well, you're in a place that is neither above or below, but somewhere in the middle. Ending up here is extremely rare, and how it happens varies from person to person. Living a listless life, overindulging, or if your time was cut short, the list goes on. In a way, it's like your path has been erased, yeah? So basically, y'all in limbo. Granted, it has many other names. Limbo, Purgatory, the DMV, just to name a few you've come up with. I'm practically fond of limbo. It makes me think of taking a cruise across the endless ocean back home. I could take some of you if you like. And that brings me to my next point. I am the angel Kaylee? Kali, I'm pronouncing the name so wrong. And I've been assigned to this realm to offer help in crossing over to heaven, or as we like to call it up there, Utopia. To get to this promised land, your resolve must be tested in one of the towns circling Utopia's gates. Here, mortals must perform genuine acts of virtue to prove they have earned entry to Utopia. You'll be staying in a heaven home outside the realm of Utopia, and when you are ready to ascend, if and when you're ready to ascend, please be aware that while patience is a virtue, there is a time limit of 1 Earth year to prove yourself worthy of citizenship with Utopia's walls. So you only have 1 year to get into heaven. Similar circumstances follow if you want to get into hell. Okay. Though we aren't as elitist as Utopia, and simply require you take a morality test. It's nothing much, just denounce Utopia and pledge your unwavering loyalty to hell. Well, we'll even overlook your first 3 demeanors to sweeten the deal. But any sins after that, you'll have to undergo some torture to atone. No biggie. If you get caught, that is, which you most likely will. However, if you're not stupid about it, we might just give you a promotion. Oh, don't look scared. It's not any different than what you've turned Earth into. The main difference is that in hell, we cut the dicks off of pedophiles and feed it back to them. So, arguably better if you ask me. Did I mention we got a 4D theater, a vast shopping center, and a Starbucks at every corner to help you get through the literal endless nights? Oh, and the name's Raymond, by the way. The pleasure is all mine, should you want me to drag you to hell. Wait, since when did hell have a 4D theater? Oh, hell's had one for decades now. Utopia is just too slow to catch up on the times, as always. Moving on. There is always the option of remaining here, but fair warning, Limbo is relatively unmonitored territory between Utopia and hell. Your soul's fate is uncertain, and many residents here live out the rest of their eternity lost. It's pretty much a 24/7 free-for-all, so I'd watch your back. However, there is no need to dwell on that, as I'm here to help you cross over to a better place at any time. Please do not be afraid to reach out, as it is my life's purpose to herd you lost souls to peace. Any questions? There was a lot of mumbling and chatter amongst the crowd, all discussing who they wanted to join. From how they were talking, it seemed like pretty even split of people intending to follow either one of them. I considered my options. Utopia seemed like the most reasonable decision, given the other was literal hell. But from the way that demon pitched it, aside from a few discrepancies, hell was like living on Earth. One valued morality of a person, while the other took them as they were, flaws and all. I guess the big question I had to ask myself was, am I a good person? This is bullshit. What? I turned my head to see who that was. It was a short, rabbit-eared, masked person that raised their voice first. This whole system is bullshit. Having to prove I'm a good person? What kind of crap is that? I was an activist, for Christ's sake. And just because hell is pretty much Earth doesn't make it that much better, considering how fucked up Earth was when I left it. This holier-than-thou silver-tongued slick isn't telling me a thing. That's not what I've been trying to say at all. Perish here, then. Maybe I will, then. Because that's my choice. Who's with me? The crowd went silent for a few awkward coughs here and there. Even though they had a mask, people avoided eye contact with the haired fellow. A ripped woman in a cropped varsity jacket and goggles spoke up. Just how technology advanced is heaven? She completely blew off the rabbit head. It's called Utopia. So pretentious. It's inclusive to people of all faiths. But to answer your question, it's as advanced as the residents make it to be. Which unfortunately for Utopia leaves it a couple of years behind what you're used to. They still use VHS and Walkmans over there, I bet. Untrue. Callie pulled out a chunky-looking circular device and placed a larger set of headphones on his head. We got these portable devices called CD players just last month. Now we can listen to music wherever we go. As long as we don't scratch the disc or move too much. Dear Lucifer, if you want, I can pencil you in for a tour of hell within a day, Miss Mitchell? No needs. I've already made up my mind. I don't think that was Mitchell, but maybe? Raymond's face lit up. I'm gonna take my chance with the angel here. I love working on projects from scratch, and it sounds like Utopia is in dire need of an upgrade if it wants to be called my home. Oh, and just call me Mitz. I think it's Michelle? And I said Mitchell. Is my surrogate... No! Yeah, it's Mitchell, right? Mitchell. It doesn't look like how my best friend's last name is spelled, but maybe I'm just imagining it wrong. Suit yourself. I hate to see such brains go to waste, though. She's gonna see, and she's gonna be like, you don't even know how to spell my last name. And I'll be like, I thought I did, but now I'm questioning everything. Nice, because you don't know how happy it makes me to have someone as brilliant as you to join us. That is not to say we're not looking forward to the rest of you willingly to come here as well. Hang on a second. I'm dead? Oh, shit, dude. You're right. We died? Yeah, bruh. You are. I can't be dead. I have a midterm I studied really hard for tomorrow. Relatable. Kinda not the worst thing to be worrying about, but man, this sucks. Suddenly, the realization had dawned on all of us. We were all dead, trapped here in limbo, never to see the surface again. Never see our friends and families. All our lives had come to an end, whether we saw it coming or not. Noticing the rise in teary eyes and melancholy, Callie and Raymond tried to calm the crowd down before it went into full panic. Mitt spoke up once more, breaking the tension. How did I die, if I may ask? The two up on stage looked at each other with uncertainty. Are you sure you want to know? It would just be nice to know how I spent my final moments before getting here. The angel smiled warmly. I understand. It would bring you some solace and closure, yeah? Yeah. I want to know too. They ain't gonna be able to show. I hardly remember a thing. My memories are all fuzzy-wuzzy. Same here, yo. Alright, then. He motioned over to the jacketed woman. Okay, so it's Your time of death was October 25th, 2018 at 8:07 p.m. from blood loss. You're building an animatronic for your local haunted house when the machine suddenly powered on and chewed your whole hand off. Since you lived alone at the time and had your garage soundproof at the request of your neighbors, no one heard your screams of agony when it happened. Yeesh. Well, at least I went out the way I lived. Fisting machinery. She lifted her right arm up for anyone to high-five, but it was kind of difficult to do with her hand missing. So she was left hanging. Our sassy little rabbit friend, DJ Roadkill, as most people called them, died in the most ironic and hilarious of ways. July 4, 2019, perished when a peaceful protest boycotting the police for inspired police brutality turned into a full-blown riot. It's unknown who threw the first stone. Just kidding. Of course it was the police. And you were the stone when an officer shoved you in front of an oncoming car. Haha, get it? Because their stage name is DJ Roadkill? I don't think that's fun. DJ Roadkill snickered. Yeah, that's kind of funny. LOL. Ah, well, guess I died the way I lived, too. Sticking it to the fucking man. If it's any consolation, the chief of police that sparked the initial cause for protest died during the riot. We've had live shows of his torture ever since. Go to hell and I can get us front row seats for the next showtime. Blah. I have a weak stomach. No thanks. Though knowing the fucker went to the place I've always cursed him to go to does make me feel a little bit better. It was then the waitress's turn. Rosetta Cadenas, time of death, February 15, 2019, in the heat of a lunch rush at 12:38 p.m. Your cause of death was... accidentally worsening a gas leak because of sleep deprivation that resulted in a fatal kitchen explosion? That explains why you're covered in soot. Officially, cause of death, smoke inhalation. How reckless. We can't divulge whether or not there were other casualties besides yourself, but a fire that big? Well, you can use your imagination how many people were left medium to well done. Kylie gave Raymond a stern look, seeing as the demon's morbid humor wasn't welcome with Rosita. One at a time, they shared the causes of death to those that asked for it. From freak accidents to disease to murder. One of the main consistent themes was many of us were young adults. What about me? I finally managed to get a word in near the end. Oh, you? Let's see here. He closed his eyes calmly, searching through his mind for my answer. His face scrunched up disapprovingly. Why? That's weird. I can't seem to find your time or cause of death at all. What about you, Raymond? Yeah, no, me neither. It's all blacked out and redacted. I hate it when the higher-ups do that vague shit. How odd. Must have been a pretty brutal and traumatic death if we're not allowed to be to that information. In all my times as an escort, I have yet to see someone like you show up. Makes me wonder. Sorry, Babbles. That's okay. I got the optimist. That's alright. If it's possibly as traumatic as the demon says, maybe it's better if I don't know. And even if I did know, there's no changing what's done, right? So I just gotta accept it. Look, he looked surprised by my optimism. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. Mad respect, bro. Way to keep a positive attitude. I don't know. This is a lot taken all at once. I just died after all, and now I'm in Eden within limbo. I should take it slow and weigh my options. Well, if there aren't any more questions... Suddenly a horde of people began to close tighter around the stage, people's concerns rising above one another's as they try to get the speaker's attention. Hey, one at a time, please. Raymond, could you... Just as he was going to finish his sentence, a muffled song started to chime from Raymond's pocket, and he pulled out his phone. His eyes went wide, and he began to walk off stage. Cover for me, would you? Lee, I gotta take this phone call real quick. Okay, thanks, bye. Without so much as letting Blake get a word in, he was gone. The angel sighed. Kayleigh? I'm going with that, I guess. The angel sighed, clearly annoyed by this development. I feel bad because I'm butchering these people's characters' names, and they're really cool. He took a deep breath to calm his nerves and addressed the crowd before him. Oh god. Why? Oh, we're gonna follow him. Nothing of interest was catching my attention from the conversation. Just a bunch of people poking and prodding Kayleigh on his first day on the job. I had a few more questions to ask Raymond anyway. And low-key, I was a little curious to why he was suddenly excused himself. Well, the demon. I never noticed it before, but for the supposedly lush Garden of Eden, there are barely any fruit or vegetation in sight. However, despite that, and the moody atmosphere of Limbo, it was still pretty beautiful. Flowers were abundant and lined the path of the garden, so much so that I had to catch myself from sneezing. Finally, I was able to catch up with Raymond, who looked visibly distressed as he paced around while on the phone. That's just the way she is, Joe. You don't mean that. I know your mother can be pretty abrasive, but she and I still love you very much. Can we talk about this once I'm back? I love you. Will you say it back for me? Oh, alright. See you then. Just as he hung up the phone, the sneeze I had been holding in for so long had finally escaped. Very loudly at that. What? Achoo! Once he turned around, he noticed I was standing right behind him. Hello. What, expecting me to say bless you? More importantly, how long were you eavesdropping? I didn't hear anything, I swear. Good. It seemed like the phone call is a touchy subject, and I don't want to pry into the man's personal life. I was more concerned about my own at the moment. I just had a few questions to ask about my death. His frown curved back into a smile. Frankly, so do I. All the mystery behind it has made you the most exciting of the bunch so far. Really? Mm-hmm. He winked at me, and I could feel my cheeks burn up as he took a step forward towards me. He was tall, imposing, as he loomed over me, and I should have felt threatened, but against better judgment, I stood in place. Well, I faked a cough into my fist to break the weird tension. Raymond loosened up, probably taking the hint. Is it true I can find the way I died in hell? Yep, heaven or utopia, as angels call it, plays the role of an overprotective father and would keep that information from you. But not in hell. Information and knowledge are at your fingertips to people like you who want to seek it out. For the right price. That being, like I said before, all you need to get what you want is to hand yourself over to me. To hell I mean. I'm just the escort who will take you there. Why didn't he just phrase it like that in the first place? So what does that entail exactly? By relinquishing yourself to hell, you're giving the biggest middle finger to utopia and all its ideals. In hell, accept that we are all flawed, narcissistic creatures that desire to be bad in all the right ways to make their God angry. It doesn't necessarily make you a bad person, just one that likes to party. So what do you say, Babbles? I need to think about it. Take your time, though word to the wise, hell can be pretty difficult to navigate without a friend. And it could take years, maybe decades to get your death report. Even longer if you waste time failing to get into utopia. It's hell after all. It'd be a disservice if we didn't make you suffer just a little bit. I see. But consider it a signing bonus if you choose to come with me within the next few days. I'll be waiting in the hotel lobby to ferry the first batch of humans looking to leave. Hotel? You can't miss it. It's the only building in town that doesn't look like it's gone to complete shit. I have to admit, the demon's offer was tempting. We should be heading back now. That angel is probably getting his ass eaten dealing with some of the more rowdy humans. Right. Curious devil, she meant. With that, Raymond and I trekked back to rejoin the group. Seems like things had died down by the time we got back. Kayleigh looked almost happy to see Raymond return, but as soon as his gaze panned over to me, is that why you left? What a snake you are, and in a very garden, no less. History likes to repeat itself, but I found Babbles here after I finished my phone call, wandering around aimlessly. Not much of a guardian angel now, are you? That's a completely different job, and you know that. Raymond stifles a laugh with his palm, while Kayleigh continues to be annoyed by his antics. I don't quite understand why he felt the need to lie just now. Did he just do it to cover it for me or his own sake? Probably for himself. Maybe he just wanted to ruffle Kayleigh's uptight feathers. Still, seeing the way his grin peeks at the corner, barely visible from only this angle, I can't help but smile too. Well, no thanks to you, I was able to finish up the assembly for the day. Any humans that are interested in Utopia can make a line starting here so I can register you. A swarm of people crowded Kayleigh, practically drowning him. Whoa, a single file line, can you, if you please? Also, if I don't get to you today, I can always mark you down for an appointment tomorrow. And all the people that want to party in hell just head towards the one non-shitty looking hotel building in the city and ride the elevator down. See you soon. Surprisingly, there were some people that walked out of the garden along with Raymond. There were also a few uncertain folks lingering where they stood as well. Namely, those three from earlier. Aw, geez, this is all so much to take in. I don't know what to do. Well, I for one am going to limbo. Huh? I thought you said you were going to follow the angel. Oh, for sure. I just want to see if I can scavenge some stuff while I'm down here. Plus, I'm just curious to see what it looks like. Learn as much as I can about this place and how it works. Same here, yo. I bet it's not even as bad as those two had hyped it up to be if this garden is anything to go off of. The four of us navigate through the garden for the exit. It was a bit tricky, almost maze-like, but Mint suggested following the murmurs of the Hell group to find the exit. Once we were out of it, we were instantly met with a sight none of us had ever seen outside of fiction. Before our eyes were what looked like a desolate city. A concrete jungle laid before us, building eroded and in a state of overgrowth, metal and nature intertwined with one another. Whatever else lay before the ruined lay shrouded in a thick fog. As we stepped foot out of Eden and further towards the wasteland, a chill ran through my body. Everything just seemed so cold, hopeless. Seems like they weren't lying, huh? No kidding. Jesus, like something out of the zombie apocalypse game. We all just stood there, taking in everything. Utopia or even hell doesn't sound so bad right now. In an instant, DJ hopped up on my case. Wait a minute. We don't know that yet from just looking at it. Can't judge a book by its cover or some shit. Yeah, I found some diamonds in the rough back in the days. My dad used to make furniture from trash. Were you poor too? Not really. My family's pretty well off, middle class. The more bogey people in my neighborhood would just toss shit out without much care, so I would swipe any electronic appliances from my inventions. Wasteful fucks, throwing perfectly good stuff away when they could donate it. Honestly, I can't agree with that more. Hence why I stole whatever I found useful. Well, can you really call it stealing if they don't want it anymore? I don't think so, but my dad almost got arrested for taking a table our neighbors were tossing away. That's dumb. It was pretty dark that night, and the table was really heavy that my dad knocked over all the trash bins. He tried to apologize by going to the backyard and wake them up through the bedroom window, but they didn't seem to appreciate it. I don't think anyone would, honestly. That fascinating tale of accidental trespassing aside, I noticed something. Hey, where'd Mints go? Rosita, DJ, and I looked around and saw that Mints had walked off into the city, waving a backhanded goodbye with her good hand. Aw, here I thought we would be sticking together. I guess it's just us three. Rosita turned her head, and DJ had disappeared now too. They had scampered off to follow Mints. They hollered at us. Let's split up and regroup later. Cover more ground and whatever. Without giving either of us a word, and Mints and DJ's figures vanished into the streets. Rude. It's just you and me then, Babbles. Promise you won't leave me either. I have a much better chance of survival tagging along with someone. We're in completely unfamiliar and different realm of existence after all. A partner at my side didn't sound so bad. This game is so cool, but unfortunately, we are running out of time, so I'm gonna have to come back to this. But, okay. Please save. Okay. Hopefully that will save forever. Here's our boys. But this game is super cool, and I hope you guys consider checking it out. I am definitely glad I came across it, because this is a lot of representation, and the art is beautiful. The game is really good. I just can't pronounce crap because I cannot read. But this is called Repurpose. I'll post a link in the description, and I'll link you guys to it. It was on itch.io as well, so you guys might want to check it out. This is also just the demo. Keep that in mind. It took me beyond 30 minutes to just do the demo, so this is crazy. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.